Most people over 60 think waking up 3, 4, even 5 times a night to pee is just a normal part of aging. They quietly accept it. They keep a dim light on in the hallway. They walk slowly to the bathroom half asleep, hoping they don't lose balance or fall, and then they crawl back into bed, only to stare at the ceiling for another hour, unable to fall asleep again. But what if I told you that, for many seniors, the problem is not actually the bladder? What if the real issue begins deep in the muscles and nerves that support the bladder? And there's one simple 3-minute exercise that may help calm those nighttime urges naturally? I want you to imagine something for a moment. A 72-year-old man named Robert once told his doctor, "I stopped drinking water after dinner. I stopped tea. I even stopped sitting with my family at night because I was afraid I'd spend all night in the bathroom." He thought this was simply his future now. Broken sleep, exhaustion, embarrassment. But after learning one small daily movement routine that strengthened the pelvic area and improved bladder control, something surprising happened. Within a few weeks, Robert was waking up less often, sometimes only once, and on certain nights, not at all. That changed everything. Because when sleep improves after 60, life changes. Energy improves, mood improves, memory becomes sharper. Even balance and blood pressure can improve when the body finally gets deep rest again. And yet millions of seniors never hear about this. Instead, they believe the only answers are medications, pads, or just living with it. Tonight, we're going to talk about the hidden reasons why nighttime urination becomes so common after 60. And more importantly, the gentle, 3-minute exercise many physical therapists and senior health experts recommend to help strengthen bladder support naturally. And please stay until the end, because there's one mistake many older adults make right before bed that secretly irritates the bladder all night long, even if they think they're doing everything correctly. The truth is, your body changes with age in ways most people never fully understand. After 60, the muscles around the bladder and pelvic floor can weaken. These muscles act almost like a hammock, supporting the bladder and helping control when urine stays in. And when it comes out? But over time, those muscles may lose strength from aging, inactivity, surgery, weight gain, chronic coughing, constipation, or even years of stress placed on the body. And when those muscles weaken, the bladder becomes more sensitive. Suddenly, even a small amount of urine can trigger an urgent signal to the brain during the night. That's why some seniors wake up constantly, even when the bladder isn't actually full. And here's something important many people don't realize. Nighttime urination is not just annoying. It can become dangerous. Research has shown that repeated nighttime bathroom trips increase the risk of falls, fractures, sleep deprivation, fatigue, memory issues, and even depression in older adults. One bad fall during the night can change a person's independence forever. That's why this conversation matters so much. Now, the exercise we'll discuss is not intense. You won't need a gym. You won't need expensive equipment. And you certainly won't need to strain your body. In fact, many seniors can do it while sitting in a chair or lying comfortably in bed. But before I explain exactly how it works in the next section, there's one more thing you should know. Sometimes the bladder is not the true problem at all. Sometimes it's simply sending distress signals because nearby muscles and nerves are weak, tight, or poorly coordinated. And when those areas are retrained gently and consistently, the bladder often becomes calmer too. That's why some seniors notice improvement in just a few weeks. Not overnight miracles. Not fake promises. Just the body responding to better support and healthier control. And in the next part, I'll explain the simple science behind this 3-minute nighttime exercise, why so many people do it incorrectly, and the surprising reason why holding your breath during the movement may actually make nighttime urination worse. Many people are shocked when they first learn this, but your bladder is constantly communicating with your brain. Every second of the day, tiny nerves send signals back and forth, saying things like, "The bladder is filling," or "It's time to empty now." When we're younger, those signals are usually calm and controlled. But after 60, the communication system can become overly sensitive. That's why some seniors feel a sudden urge to urinate even when the bladder is only partially full. And this is where the pelvic floor becomes incredibly important. Think of the pelvic floor like a supportive sling made of muscles stretching across the bottom of the pelvis. These muscles help support the bladder, bowel, and in many cases, posture and balance too. When those muscles weaken, the bladder loses some of its support. It can become more reactive during the night, especially while lying down. Now here's where things become even more interesting. During the daytime, fluid often collects in the legs and lower body, especially in seniors who sit for long periods or have circulation changes. But once you lie down at night, that fluid redistributes through the bloodstream and eventually reaches the kidneys. The kidneys then turn that extra fluid into urine. So suddenly, the bladder fills more during sleep, exactly when you're trying to rest. That's one reason nighttime urination becomes more common with age. But here's the hopeful part. Gentle pelvic floor activation exercises may help improve muscle coordination, bladder support, and even the brain's control over urgency signals. The key word is gentle. Because one of the biggest myths seniors hear is this: just squeeze as hard as possible. That's actually wrong. Many older adults unknowingly tighten the wrong muscles. Some hold their breath. Others clench their stomach or buttocks so forcefully that pressure inside the abdomen increases. And that can irritate the bladder even more. The goal is not brute strength. The goal is coordination and calm control. Imagine softly lifting the muscles you would use to stop passing urine or gas. Not straining, not squeezing your entire body. Just a gentle internal lift and release. That small movement teaches the brain and bladder to work together again. And this is where the simple 3-minute exercise begins. First, sit comfortably in a sturdy chair, or lie flat on your bed with your knees slightly bent. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Most importantly, breathe normally. Then slowly tighten the pelvic floor muscles for about 3 seconds. Not your stomach. Not your thighs, not your buttocks. Just the deep muscles underneath the pelvis. Then slowly release for 3 seconds. That's it. Simple, calm, controlled. Repeat this gently for about 1 minute. After that, try quicker contractions. Gently tighten and release once every second for another minute. Finally, during the last minute, combine the movement with slow breathing. Inhale gently through the nose. Then softly tighten the pelvic floor as you exhale. This breathing connection matters more than most people realize. Because when seniors hold their breath during the exercise, pressure builds downward into the bladder area. But slow breathing helps the nervous system relax and improves muscle coordination naturally. And here's something fascinating many physical therapists observe. People who practice these exercises consistently often report improvements, not only in nighttime urination, but also confidence, posture, and even balance. Why? Because the pelvic floor is connected to the body's core stability system. Everything in the body works together. Now, does this mean every case of nighttime urination can be fixed with exercises alone? No. And that's important to say honestly. Sometimes frequent nighttime urination may be related to conditions like enlarged prostate issues in men, overactive bladder, diabetes, sleep apnea, certain medications, swelling in the legs, or urinary tract infections. That's why persistent symptoms should always be discussed with a healthcare professional. But for many seniors, weak pelvic support and bladder irritation play a much bigger role than they ever imagined. And in the next section, I'm going to show you the daily habits that either calm the bladder or secretly make nighttime bathroom trips worse. One bedtime habit in particular surprises almost everyone. Because this problem is not only about waking up to use the bathroom. There's something deeply exhausting about waking up night after night, feeling your body pulling you out of sleep again and again. Many seniors never complain about it out loud, but inside, they feel frustrated, worried, and worn down. Some even begin planning their entire lives around the nearest bathroom. They stop traveling. They avoid staying at family members' homes. They become anxious during long car rides, church services, or quiet evenings with loved ones. And little by little, confidence starts to disappear. But here's what I want you to remember tonight. Your body is not betraying you. It may simply be asking for support, movement, and better daily habits. Because aging does not mean giving up hope. It does not mean accepting exhaustion as your new normal forever. And it certainly does not mean you should feel embarrassed about what your body is experiencing. Millions of seniors struggle with nighttime urination. The difference is that some people quietly suffer, while others begin taking small steps toward improvement. And often, those small steps lead to life-changing results over time. Think again about how simple this really is. A gentle 3-minute pelvic exercise, better evening habits, smarter fluid timing, calm breathing, light movement after dinner. None of these changes are dramatic by themselves. But together, they create support for the bladder, muscles, nerves, and sleep system. The body responds best to consistency, patience, and gentle care. And even if improvement happens slowly, every small win matters. Maybe tonight you wake up 4 times instead of 5. Maybe next month you finally sleep through until morning for the first time in years. That kind of progress changes more than sleep. It changes energy, mood, memory, balance, and independence. It helps people feel like themselves again. So please don't lose hope if your body has been struggling lately. Many seniors assume nothing can improve after 60, but that simply isn't true. The human body is remarkably adaptable, even later in life. And most importantly, don't ignore persistent symptoms if they continue getting worse. Frequent nighttime urination can sometimes signal other medical conditions that deserve attention. Always speak with a healthcare professional if symptoms become severe or sudden. But for many people watching tonight, this may be the beginning of something positive. A better routine, a calmer bladder, a safer night, a deeper sleep. And sometimes better sleep brings back something even more precious, peace of mind. If this video helped you understand your body a little better, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And in the comments below, tell us honestly, how many times do you usually wake up at night to use the bathroom? You may be surprised how many others are going through the exact same thing. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next video.